All right. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Well, yesterday sucked. That's for damn sure. What a terrible day of football. Started with the Jets and the Broncos. Football just was horrible yesterday. Like I don't know how else to categorize the day. It was terrible. All the games were seemingly uninteresting. Just bad football all the way around. Feels like every offense now just wants to run crossing patterns and screen passes. Like, is the ball going to get thrown down the field? I had to sit here last night and then in the morning listening to anybody and everybody talk about football, and it's like, all right, so Baker Mayfield's the only quarterback that can throw the ball down the field. Like the praise that we're giving him is like, yeah, he's playing great, but man, who else is throwing the ball down the field? Like, it's just dink and dunk and dink and dunk. And speaking of dink and dunk, that's exactly what the Ravens offense looked like. And here's why I'm so mad. I'm trying to get my thoughts organized here for today, but yeah, I should have just gone to sleep. I was 3-2 and then decided to take all these Lions get bets last night. So that wasn't great. But I got to go back to this Ravens game first so I can go through everything properly. But I was so optimistic going into the game, and I was optimistic for exactly how the game started to play out. We're up 3-0, and it's just Ravens football, old school, ugly, running the ball, and the Rams miss a field goal. And you're just like, you know what? Are we going to get lucky? The ball hits the upright. The kicker looks like he's scared of his own shadow. And just things are starting to go in the right direction. And you're feeling that way. And it's 3-0. And then we get the interception. And Cooper throws the pick. And it's like, oh, God. Flowers probably should have cut in on the route when they showed the replay. It looked like he kept going up. They're not on the same page. You're like, all right, well, that's not great. And then that very next play is why you thought, you know what, this team's going to win the Super Bowl. At least that's what I thought, because John Jenkins gets the trifecta, his sack, fumble, forced fumble recovery. What an amazing play. We get the ball right back where essentially it would have been if Rush would have completed the pass to Flowers. And you're just actually further than that, right? I think we're on the Rams territory. And you're just like, you know what, maybe things are going to go our way. And then we go 3 and out. And you got a 4th and 3 on the 34. And then this is why we lost the game. This is why I went from yesterday, Harbaugh, just let it play out. Maybe we'll turn things around, to I'm so mad at Harbaugh for not kicking that field goal that the rest of the game almost doesn't. I can't get angry about anything else more than that, because you control what you control. And, you have fumbles and things happen. It's football. But there was no evidence up until that play that Cooper Rush was going to get us a 4-yard gain on first down. We talk about this with so many of the elite quarterbacks where, man, when they start playing with 4 downs, Allen, Lamar, and Mahomes, how are you going to stop these guys, right? And they get to 4th and 2, 4th and 3, and if they're cooking, it's a really tough stop. But that's for like a handful of guys. It's still really hard to get 4 yards in the National Football League if you don't have a good quarterback. And we don't have a good quarterback. And he just threw an interception. The last freaking pass he threw was an interception. So they come out, you get 2 runs, and it doesn't go anywhere. And now you're sitting, and it's 4th and 3. Or maybe he got a short little pass over the middle, whatever it was. But it's 4th and 3, and you're up 3-0. And the weather is terrible. And the Rams kicker just missed this field goal. And the Ravens defense actually, it looks alive here. I can't for the life of me figure out, forget the play call. The play call is atrocious. It's just a deep out that has no chance to get complete. But why go for it? Like, even if you get the first down there, I feel like it's a 30% chance that we score a touchdown on that drive. Like, we have no offense. Like, we just don't. So it's not a guarantee you're going to get the touchdown. And Tyler Loop's got to make 51-yard field goals. We just made a field goal. We're home. This is going to be a field goal game. Like, there's no need to go for the touch. In fact, if you make the argument that if you get the touchdown on that drive and you're up 10-0, all you're doing is encouraging the Rams to spread it out and turn this thing into a track meet. Just go up 6-0. Just make the complimentary football. You're up 6-0, and then you play football from there. But nope, they don't do that. And from there, the game's just over. Like, they fall apart. The swag's not there. The confidence isn't there. And yet somehow it's still 3-3. It's still 3-3 at the end of the half. And I don't know what to be more mad about, that the play calls or the fact that Mark Andrews can't get a half a yard. But the reality is, after the game, I'm listening to Harbaugh. I was like, you know what? He's got to go, because his answer was, we should be able to get a yard. I mean, we're not as good as the Eagles, but we should be able to get a yard. Like, what the fuck kind of sentence is that? That's what a fan would say. Why can't we be better than the Eagles at it? Why aren't we as good as the Eagles at it? And if we're not as good as the Eagles at it, why are we doing Eagles light tush push? Like, why? No other, like, that is not the best play in football. It is embarrassing. And then on the fourth down play, Derrick Henry can't get his feet going. And then you have the argument of, well, is that the play you wanted to see on second and third down? And it's like, that's a stupid argument, because now it's fourth down and everyone knows Henry's getting the ball, because the first two times you plunged away with Andrews, that didn't work. What are you going to do it third time in a row? You can't do play action because, God forbid, we let Cooper Rush do something with the ball. And it's terrible. It's such a terrible attitude. It's just terrible all the way around. And then Zay Flowers fumbles the game around. And you know what? Maybe Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady can do like a different game, because they're doing a terrible job. I listen to all the games, all sports, nonstop sports, my whole life. These guys are terrible. Like, what are we doing? Tom Brady gives me nothing. And then if he does give you something, he just comes off like an asshole. And Burkhardt is yelling, oh, Flowers has never fumbled in his career, except in the most important game of his life. So, like, I get it's a regular season stat, but my goodness, some perspective. And we're pretending like this is an impossibility, that a 130-pound receiver, as he zigzags through the NFL, is going to fumble the ball. And I can't stand Flowers' attitude. Maybe he shouldn't be bitching at other people and in the middle of the game and yelling and screaming if he's not going to hold on to the ball. Fuck. God, that team was terrible yesterday. Just to watch. Yeah, you're going to say the defense played a little bit better. Yeah, because the Rams didn't have to put their foot on the gas. They were easing into the game. Puka got hurt. The weather's bad. I don't know. The Ravens still holes on top of holes. Just weak all the way around. Everything was weak yesterday from the top down. And yeah, it's nice. Lamar, we're the game of the week. So Lamar's got his headset on this week. I mean, we've now turned into the Orioles, where it's like all about the optics. If I have to read one more time that we offered Corbin Burns 4 years, $180 million, when it's all bullshit, like these guys covering the Orioles are unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. Well, Burns said it out loud. Yeah, see what else he said. See what else he said right when the contract was actually happening, and that he never had a physical contract given to him by the Baltimore Orioles. So it's just laughable that we're like all about the media, all about the perspective, all about spinning the narrative. And it's like, this is Baltimore. Like, no one cares about that crap. That's like for somebody else. This is just not how our sports are supposed to be. Just hidden, we can't tell you this. We don't want to tell you that. Who knows who's injured? Harbaugh talked about Lamar coming back next or after the bye was very interesting, because he like made it sound like he's not supposed to say it. Yeah, because you're probably not supposed to say it, because it's not your fucking hamstring. The energy around the Ravens is bad. It's bad. And I really thought yesterday we could have afforded to lose the game if we played with a type of energy that would make me feel good going into the bye. And holding them to 17 points doesn't make me feel good, because if you watch the game, the Rams didn't need to score any points. I'm not saying they weren't trying, but you got to watch the game. Like, Puka's hurt. It was a different type of game. It's not like the defense got solved. And so for Harbaugh to just want to spin the narrative after the game about how great the defense was and all the improvements, I didn't feel that way. And I guarantee you the Rams didn't feel that way. Rams just cruised. They came out of the second half and they were going to go down the field and do their thing. And they did. And then we just fumbled the game away. Yeah. Just bad all the way around. So, yeah, this Corbin Burns thing really pisses me off too, because it's like, you guys got him to agree that the Orioles offered you something like that. They did like the interview after, when we played them in Arizona, and just the media is like pretending that he took 6 years for 210. I even saw, the best reporters, the guys that I'm like, man, that's where I get my Orioles information from. It's like, man, I hope the checks are good, because what are you doing? Yeah, he took 6 for 210 to stay closer to home instead of the 4 for 180. when you just can read the contemporary reporting when the contract was actually signed. So if they got him to spin it after, but whatever, I don't even know what I'm talking about because the Ravens have just pissed me off so much that I've delved back into Oriole land. Just bad, and I'm more mad at myself, frankly, for taking these Lions props last night as they go down the field, and then the game just ends. Just like it's such an efficient game. There's like barely any incompletions. It's a fast game. Lions just run out of time and they can't execute and turn the ball over on downs. And you just look at the box score the next day and you're just like, what the hell was that? So that wasn't great. And for the rest of the NFL, just like I said, yeah, to start the pod, I mean, I'm gonna go through all these games, but holy shit, like the games yesterday were bad. It went from like really, really bad to is this gonna get any better at any point? Like starting with the Broncos and the Jets. I can't think of a worse game that I actually watched from start to finish because it's just on in the background. And I'm just like watching it. I guess I don't have a good reason for watching it. Justin Fields like wouldn't throw the ball. When we talk about these gambling scandals, I don't understand why he's not releasing the ball out of his hands to throw it. I don't know what Aaron Glenn's doing. The Broncos aren't that good. I've been riding that train from the beginning of the year, but they win that game. So I don't know what else to say about that except the Jets are 0-6 and a flaming disaster, but they really could have won the game 100 different times. So whatever. Patriots beat the Saints. I lose that game because Saints can't get off the field at the end of the game and they can't just get over the hump there. The Patriots, you got to give the Patriots credit. I didn't watch most of the game, but saw enough to be like, man, Drake May just makes the big plays. Patriots win. I'm still not sold on it. I'm not sold on the Colts either. So Colts beat the Cardinals. I wish I would have actually bet the Cardinals. I had a feeling the Cardinals was the right play. That game goes down to the wire, and the Colts hold them off and beat the Cardinals 31-27. You got to win games like that if you're going to make the playoffs. I still think the Texans are going to win that division. I'm not going to give the Colts that division just yet. There's too many things I don't like on defense. And we're going to get some more film on the offense and on Daniel Jones, and we'll see exactly if it lasts forever. But they do win. They're 5-1. They're first place in the AFC. And the Panthers. So the Panthers, once I get the Panthers right, that'll be amazing. I said before the year they're going to win 9 games. And then the way they started the year, I wanted that back. And then I just won't stick to my guns there and take the Panthers. I did it last week by betting against them, and I did this week by not just taking them. Bryce Young somehow is getting it done here. Like the Panthers enjoy playing for their coach. There's something joyful about the process in Carolina. You can just tell, even when they get blown out, like they haven't turned on anybody. They're 3-3. They beat the Cowboys. Bad loss for the Cowboys. That's the type of game where if you're going to make the playoffs at the end of the year, they're tiebreakers. Who's getting that last wild card spot? So it's a big win for the Panthers. I can't get the Seahawks right to save my life. That's another team that's just killing me. Jaguars, the same thing. So note to self, won't be taking those 2 teams for a month. But Jacksonville just continues to frustrate you if you're betting on Jacksonville. I mean, my goodness, they leave so much on the table. I had to stop and be like, man, does this Seahawks defense like think they're home when they're on the road? I can't figure it out. But Mike McDonald, big win for the Seahawks. Happy for him after last week, I'm like, well, now we'll take Mike McDonald back. It's a week-to-week league. What can I tell you? But in all seriousness, the team likes playing for him. They play hard. When you win those road games, when it's a lot of traveling and you come off a loss, it does say a lot about the team. And the game I get right at 1:00. Oh, we got one more. The Chargers-Dolphins game, just whatever. The Chargers-Dolphins are Dolphins. If you didn't see 2 after the game, I mean, my goodness, what is going on here? Just calling out his players after the game in a way that sounds like he's worth $200 million. Like, man, no one can like Tua in that locker room. Just unlikable guy, acting like he's above the fray. Won't call anybody out by name. Dolphins blow it. They just couldn't. Obviously they're not going to hold on and tackle Justin Herbert at the end of the game. So Herbert gets it done. Good win for the Chargers. Herbert's, fantastic. It's a football. It's a league where you just got to win the freaking game, right? Like if especially this year, like who's the best team? Who's the top 10 teams? It's so up for debate right now. They just got to stack the wins. It's why the Ravens should have won the game yesterday because it was very winnable. Chargers win. Dolphins are just done. They're done. I don't even know what you do if you're the Dolphins. I'd get rid of Tua. I don't. You gotta get rid of all the players because there's no way you can like this guy. Just a pain in the ass. And then the game to get right, I don't even feel like talking about because it's the Squealers and they beat the Browns 23-9 in the most predictable outcome of any game ever because the Browns suck on offense and they're not going to be able to score. Like I that's that. So I can't pat myself on the back too much because of the way that Lions game. I'm not going to be able to get. I'm just so annoyed. 3-2 sounds so much better than 3-7, but it is what it is. That's the game I get right, and I get the Bengals right. As Flacco was good enough to cover the spread, made a couple plays. The Bengals defense hung in there. Packers, they leave a lot to be desired coming off the bye, but again, they get the win. So it's important to make the playoffs to just get the wins. And speaking of getting the wins, the Raiders they're not relevant, but they're 2-4. They avoid their season being over. I guess that's the headline coming out of the Raiders-Titans game because the Titans are, a disaster. I think everybody knew that. It would have been a nice story to see them win back-to-back games after they could barely, it took them forever to win a game and cover a spread. But yeah, that didn't happen. Probably thought the Raiders were going to win and cover based on the fact they're favored by 4.5. That was, maybe a giveaway. I try not to read too much into the lines, but it's like, man, Raiders are favored by that many. So yeah, Raiders dominate. Wasn't even as close as 20-10. And then the best game of the day, I guess, was probably, the Chargers-Dolphins game. Can't count as a best game of the day, even though it was the closest score. I'm telling you, football is just bad. Yesterday was the day to turn off the TV, do something else. Bucks beat the Niners as Baker's everybody's MVP. And I was on Baker early last year, so this isn't shocking me. I did think the Bucks. I'm high on the Bucks. I've been high on the Bucks. I'm impressed. What else can you say? Like Baker's been great, but I'm more taken aback by how different Baker looks than the rest of the NFL. Like I said, they're just not throwing the ball deep down the field. Everything is dink and dunk. So that's why that game was so enjoyable because Baker's playing quarterback. It's fun to watch. Throwing the ball deep down the field. He's excited. The Bucks are feeling great. You can't win the Super Bowl in October, but if you could, the Bucks would. So the Bucks win. The Niners, what can you say about the Niners? This franchise I'm glad, if you're an older Niners fan, I guess you can deal with, all the tragedy, if you will, since past 10 years. Well, ever since that Garoppolo Super Bowl, however long that's been, 7-8 years. It's been awful for them. Injuries after injuries, getting close, not getting it done, trying to figure out the quarterback situation, the highs of highs. But then again, they lose Fred Warner yesterday. They can't come back from that. They just can't. I don't think they were going to be able to make a run anyway, let alone I still didn't have them making the playoffs. Now I definitely don't have them making the playoffs. I know they're 4-2, but Fred Warner is the best middle linebacker in all of football. That's a really bad loss. I think it's going to make the rest of the defense bad. And so tough game. And then the fucking Chiefs last night. So great. I'm not talking about the Chiefs, but betting against Mahomes was ingenious of me. What can I say? And for some reason, we have 2 Monday Night Football. Well, not for some reason. For the reason of how do I make as much money as possible? The attention span of people is so small. People are bitching and complaining anyway. Who cares? So I guess those are the reasons. We have 2 Monday Night Football games tonight. Bills-Falcons at 7 o'clock or 7:15. And then Bears-Commanders is the game that is the featured game, I guess, which is interesting considering Josh Allen's playing. But what can I tell you? You got 2 games. You could spin it to, hey, great, we got 2 games to watch. But for me, I just think it's like, man, Monday Night Football used to mean something, and it still does. But when you put 2 games on, it just means less. And I prefer one extra game amidst all the chaos, even if I can't watch it on Sunday, especially when you get games like we got yesterday. So. Yeah, not a great day. Wow. Just wow. Trying to find a positive after that Ravens game, and I can't really find it. I was big against, I guess that's where I'll end this, but I was big. I'll have picks out for Bills, Falcons, and Bears, Commanders later today when I can put my focus on it. But yeah, I think I was 1,000%, not I think I was 1,000% like, no firing of anybody. after whatever happens yesterday. Like, just don't do it. Just let the season play out. Lamar's going to come back. Now I'm at the point where if I was Lamar, I don't know if I'm dying to come back. And maybe I just need to get rid of everybody. I know that sounds crazy, but yesterday was crazy. And Harbaugh looks defeated. I don't know where to go from here. But when you don't kick the field goal and you're like, yeah, we're tough guys. We go for it on 4th and fucking 3. Like, for what? That's not being smart. And I just that's almost like where I draw the line on anything else. How did you not have the perspective to kick the field goal? Like, how? If he misses the field goal, then he misses the field goal. But I can't believe we went for that on 4th and 3. That bothers me. And it really bothers me that your answer after the game on the tush push is, yeah, we know we're not as good as other teams, but we still should be able to do it. And it's like, that sounds terrible. That sounds terrible. We should have something inside the 1-yard line that we think is our best play, whatever that is, with Lamar or without Lamar. Like, what's our best play? And if the best possible play, and his answer was, before the game, we've already decided on what our goal line plays are going to be. As a reporter asked him, hey, do you have any input on what the fuck we're doing here on the 1-yard line? And his answer is, no, we've already decided before the game started that we're going to just tush push, or not even whatever the hell you want to call the Mark Andrews up the middle play. Okay. So we've already decided it. So you can't blame Monken for everybody yelling at Monken today. You're just wrong. Like, he didn't make the call. The call was already decided. We make that decision on Friday, apparently. So that's going to be our play calls. Right up the middle. And then if it doesn't work the first couple of times, then we panic and do a slow developing running play. So at some point, you're going to need a different voice and somebody else to analyze what the hell's going on. And that's how I would feel if I was running the Ravens. Alrighty. Anything else? Anybody want my political takes? Probably not. Who knows? Depends on who's listening. But all right, we'll talk later. I'll be here whenever, Thursday. Yeah, it's just not great. Not great. So I'd rather just get it out of my system this morning. So if you didn't listen to the whole way, I don't blame you. If you did, appreciate it. Good luck on whatever the hell you're doing tonight. And meanwhile, at least the Blue Jays lost, so that was something. All right. See you guys. Oh, Lord.